The objective for today's lesson is to identify the similarities and differences between various habitats. In small groups, you will be researching and presenting to the class a specific habitat assigned to you on the poster board provided. Before we start researching different habitats around the world, we need to understand what a habitat is. The definition of a habitat is the natural environment of an organism or a place that is natural for the life and growth of an organism. In this picture, we can see various habitats all around the world. In this particular image, we see 9 different habitats, but there are many more than that spread across our planet that are not pictured. Today, we are going to focus on 6 main habitats: marine or ocean, desert, temperate forest, tropical rainforest, grasslands or the savanna, and polar habitats. Now that we know what a habitat is and what some of the most common habitats are, we need to ask ourselves, what habitat are we a part of here in Colorado? Depending on where you live in the state, you might see different habitats. In southern and eastern Colorado, we see grasslands or the prairie, which is flat, dry, and has a lot of brush that grows and not that many trees. Farther north and west leads you to montane forests, which are large forests of pine trees, and also the alpine tundra, which is found on the very top of the mountain where the trees stop growing. First habitat we are going to learn about today is the marine habitat, or everything that lives underwater. This habitat encompasses both saltwater and freshwater environments, meaning either the ocean or lakes, ponds, and streams. Some interesting things to know about ocean environments is that more than 70% of the Earth is covered with oceans. That's a lot of water. Also, the largest animal on Earth, the blue whale, lives in this habitat. Marine habitats are very diverse, meaning there are many types of animals and plants that all live here underwater together. Now we're switching from the wettest place on Earth to the driest place on earth, the desert. There are many deserts that surround the world, and not all of them are just sand. A desert is a habitat where there is little precipitation, and plants and animals have to learn how to survive with little water. Cacti are one of the most common plants found in deserts because they store water so well and can survive the hot temperatures. An interesting thing about deserts is that although it can be incredibly hot in the day, a lot of the time it gets very cold at night. This just makes it even harder for plants and animals to survive for long periods in the desert. Moving on from the desert to the temperate forest shows us just how important water is for many plants. The temperatures in this habitat are not as extreme as the desert, and all four seasons are experienced here: spring, summer, fall, and winter. In the fall, the leaves on the trees turn yellow and fall off, leaving the trees bare for the winter. In the spring, they grow back, and the tree continues its life. Trees are an important part of temperate forests as they help to provide shelter, food, and water for all the animals and plants that live here. Tropical rainforests are similar to temperate forests in that many trees make up the forest, but there are many differences between the two. Tropical rainforests are found near the equator, where temperatures are warm and it rains frequently. These forests contain nearly half of all the animal and plant species that are found on Earth, which is quite a lot. All of the trees and plants in rainforests actually help to produce oxygen and clean air for the rest of the world. Tropical rainforests are incredibly important not only to the animals that live there, but to the rest of the world as well. Moving on to the grasslands or the savanna habitat. In this habitat, there are two distinct seasons, summer and winter. The summer is a long wet season where it rains for long periods of time, and the winter is dry and it hardly ever rains. Plants here have long roots so that they can withstand the long dry season and hold water until summer comes around. There are many large grass-eating herbivores such as elephants, carnivores such as lions, and birds of prey such as hawks that live here, along with many other animals and plants. The last habitat we are talking about today is the polar habitat. This habitat only occurs at the North and South Poles. The North Pole is made up of ice sheets floating in the ocean, and the South Pole is covered with a layer of ice almost 3 miles thick. Similar to the savanna, there are only two seasons, summer and winter. Since polar habitats happen at the poles, during the summer the sun is up for 24 hours a day, and during the winter it never rises. This restricts many animals and plants from surviving here, along with the very cold temperatures. Now it's time to get researching. You'll be separated into 6 groups, and there should be about 3 to 4 people in every group. Each group will be assigned a habitat that we just talked about. Once you're in your group, everyone needs to assign themselves a role. The reporter will speak for the group in the presentation. The recorder will be writing down notes and write the main points on the poster. The researcher will conduct all the research, and the leader will keep everyone on task. In your groups, I want you to research your habitat using the books we have in the classroom or online using your Chromebooks. While you are researching, be thinking about some of the plants and animals that live there, the location of your habitat in the world, and some geographical features that make it unique. Once you have enough information on your habitat, I want you to transfer all of that info onto a poster board that will be given to you. Be creative, make it presentable, and make sure you cover all the topics needed. Once all the posters are complete, everyone will present their poster to the class in their groups in about 2 to 4 minutes.